Hey, Chance, thanks for joining me today. Wanted to bring you on this video because you've been one of the all-stars in the 10X BNB program. You've obviously been crushing it, and you're at 2 Airbnb properties now, correct?
That's right. Two working on the third.
That's fantastic. And I would love to get your story of how you got here. And I'd love to discuss, what the next steps are for you and how 10X BNB has helped you. And before we get into any of that, let's just show the audience what you got going on right now. Maybe if we could just show them the earnings you've generated from being in 10X, and then maybe show them one of your Airbnb properties as well. That'd be great.
Yeah, because you guys helped out tremendously. It's like you don't know what you don't know, and it is just insane what I've missed out on Airbnb. Just like very simple things. And I do SEO. I have a marketing background, branding, and like I still had no idea what was going on Airbnb. Like there's so many different things that give you such a lift on your properties. It's wild. So just since May, we've done 15K just about, which has been awesome. I know that our average night per booking went up because I was just looking at what other people were charging, and then I just did that. Like I wasn't thinking about amenities. I wasn't thinking about smart pricing with like your revenue managers helped me out tremendously, helped me with like one night bookings and like all this like really rad stuff that I had no idea even where to start. And when I first started renting my property, like and by the way, August and September, we couldn't rent one of our properties to the fullest extent because we had a wildfire up there. So in August, usually we generate like $8,000 a month. And then September actually on the books was going to be like 12K, but that we could only rent it like we're only gonna be able to rent it like the last 2 weeks of September. So it hurt us big time. But
what I like about this too, Chance, is if you scroll down just slightly, you'll see it's only 46 nights. So think about it, that's pretty incredible. That's like almost 15 grand in 46 nights. And if you work out the math, that's like $314 a night. So, I mean, that's fantastic, man. Congrats.
And when I started, I was just booking at $200 a night because that's what kind of everybody else was doing. And then also just like the ways that you show me about how to price per person. Like, I mean, we had one night where it was one night and we charged $1,000 for one night. I never in my wildest dreams thought that would happen for this listing.
That's fantastic, man. And let's take a look at one of your properties. Let's see what it looks like.
So here's our cabin in Cascade, Idaho. And yeah, so really the big thing when I showed you guys this property and was kind of a case study inside of the 10X BNB is that, you were like, man, you have such an experience, like the clawfoot tub, the sauna, the deck, you're on the lake, the fire pit. You made a lot of other recommendations that we haven't implemented yet, but it was just like the way that we organized our photos, like show the experiences in your photos. Don't just show, a lot of people just show like the outside of the house. It's like people can't experience the outside of the house. They need to see it. And so that was huge. And just like, by the way, we optimized it, helped out like a ton, and really just like the amenities of just like how to optimize your amenities. Like we had like 15 listed, I think. Now we have 97.
Wow.
Went to Costco and Target and just bought a bunch of cheap stuff that people want and just have it there. Like I didn't even think about doing that.
That's amazing, man. And so aside from like photo selection, creating experience, the copywriting and the pricing, anything else the program helped you with this listing?
Yeah, I mean, really the cool thing about Airbnb is because I always thought, it takes so much time and energy, and is it worth it? And you hear a lot of people like talk about horror stories about Airbnb. It's like, oh, I rented for a while and then, I guess screw me over there, destroying my place, and it's just not worth it. And I remember talking about that with you guys, and you were like, no, man, you said in all these right things, the house rules, how to vet guests, you put in cameras, you have, the sound decibel readers, so you can tell if people are partying, like all these just things that, I didn't know. And, when you put so much energy and love and care into a beautiful place that you love to have your family, it's like the last thing you want is there's guests in there, like disrespecting your property. And so that was a big fear of mine. And I'm glad that you guys walked me through that, and just the support in the Facebook group and all the questions that I asked just get answered immediately. And it's just been incredible. And it's allowed me to do other places, and it has allowed us to live in some other really beautiful parts of the world, because now we're able to buy assets there, live in a beautiful place while we're there. And like in this place, we're only in this home like 3 months out of the year. The whole rest of the year outside of that, we're renting it out, and we're making like 2 to 3x our mortgage every month, like on an okay month. So that we've been able to take that and leverage that portfolio to buy other places. We had another Airbnb we just bought 2 months ago that just came live on Airbnb. And I'm going tomorrow to buy a third home to create another experience. So
It's fantastic, man. That's
based
fantastic.
on that, especially the older generation, my dad, my uncles, they're just like, oh yeah, if you buy another second home, that's just a liability. It's just, wasted money, and you're not going to be there, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like scarcity mindset. And now that I understand this, like, I'm just trying to buy up as much property as I can, especially right now with the correction. It's just like, there's so much opportunity out there. So I love recessions. I love it when the market corrects, because that's just more opportunity for people that really understand how to leverage real estate. And it's all thanks to you guys at 10x BNB for showing me the promised land. So
No, appreciate that. And maybe if you could kind of share your story with the audience, how did you even get into Airbnb? Why did you choose the 10x BNB program? Like, what were you doing before Airbnb, and what led you into this?
it's like I was saying, I do marketing, I do arbitrage in other areas of my life. I understand, like, buy something cheap, sell for more expensive. I was like, well, how do I do that with real estate? And I've seen a bunch of people crushing on Airbnb, and like I tried, and like, you know, did the best that I could. And my listing was struggling. We got some bad reviews right out of the gate because we didn't understand how to get good reviews. Automatically Airbnb penalizes you for that.
Mhm.
Weren't charging enough, didn't have good photos. Like, I mean, it was just bad. And then all that fear coming up from everyone else saying, oh, Airbnb, you're probably just gonna get destroyed. All that was kind of coming up and really stopping me from becoming successful with it. So yeah, I got your guys' name through another like networking platform. They said you guys were the best. And so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. Spoke with one of your advisors, and just like through all the information you guys have already put out, I was like, man, I think these guys really know what they're talking about. And yeah, I mean, the course has just been more than I ever could have imagined. I'm constantly learning stuff every day, like through the group. You guys are always constantly like updating the content, and just, you really support your students, which, when you're coming into this, I mean, every property is different. Every market is different. Like, there's not one formula that fits all. So the way that you guys do those case studies and break down different properties and show us how to be smart and how to really take over a market and find out if it's a good market to go into or not, I think it's super powerful, because it's just like anything. You got to make sure you have the right product market fit. And so like, just like this property, like you guys like, oh my gosh, you're gonna freaking kill it. You guys spent like 2 hours on the phone with me, and we're like, bro, if you're not the number one Airbnb in this area, like you're totally missing the boat. So yeah, just speaking with you guys, seeing what you'd already done, seeing your, very impressive portfolios, seeing the numbers. I mean, you can't lie when you show people numbers in Airbnb. I mean, that's just it. And when I saw the numbers you guys were pulling from properties that you didn't even own, like I own this property, but now I'm going out and contacting other friends that have luxury properties, and I'm going to start to manage theirs, because you don't have to own it to make more money. I think even the smarter way is to maybe even not own any of the properties and just manage other people's,
Yeah.
because then you're just making money. You're not, spending the 20% down. But yeah, it's really my feedback. It's been incredible. Like it's, once, especially for me, I'm successful in other business ventures, but always just adding another residual income, another form of income, like, is never a bad idea. And especially diversifying yourself. Like, I wasn't heavily into real estate, but now I'm more so, because I feel confident with what you guys have taught of like, I'm like, shit, I'm going to go into any market, buy a house, and just start crushing it. Like, I have no fear of like, what if the market goes sideways, or, whatever. It's like, by doing the market research, I know that I have like a stable place to be operating my Airbnbs and real estate ventures. So I really thank you and Ari for putting together this amazing program.
No, I appreciate that. And, one question that usually comes up is, with these online mentorship or coaching programs is, people have a lot of doubts when they get into these types of programs. So with yourself, did you have any doubts getting into the program? And if you did, what was that leap that made you say, you know what, even though I have these doubts, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to give it a shot.
I mean, I had seen a lot of other programs out there, and I'd had friends that had done programs and gotten burned, and just like all the testimonials, and then, you know, just vetting you guys through some other networks, like it was only good feedback. And you guys are really honest about just showing your numbers of what you were currently doing, not from your coaching program, not from your mentoring program, like strictly what you were making on Airbnb with only owning like one property. And I was just absolutely blown away. I thought, okay, these guys are the real deal. The numbers don't lie. And so pulled the trigger.
Appreciate that. And I guess what's the long-term view for yourself? Like, what is the next step in this business for you?
Honestly, I love new money. Like, you can make $10 million in an old business, but you can make like 15 grand in a new business. And this is more exciting to me because I'm creating a new way of income. And it's just like the sky is not the limit, it's the goal, right? And with this, it's like, yeah, there's work in the beginning. Like, this isn't just easy plug and play. Like, there's work in the beginning of getting the location set up correctly and getting your contractor set in place to take care of the property. But after that, it's so hands off, and you can, all the automations you guys have shown to be automated, your communication between your team for that property is fantastic. And originally I was going to have this for my wife to do it, but I love doing it so much. Like, I'm just doing it, and like, I'm really good at it. And it allows me to go buy more properties and talk with people and really understand this business so that I can, you know, work with other property owners. And so it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm going up to buy a property tomorrow. So it'll be a third one on Airbnb. And then, yeah, really, I'm gonna start setting up ads and because I know marketing, so I'm gonna start running this to other like property owners and pitching what I can do for them and their properties. And really, like you said, like going after those luxury properties is like the way to go. So
Yeah, what I thought was interesting, and you know, you mentioned this to me offline, so not during this video, but you mentioned the next property that you're looking to purchase, the bank will actually consider your existing Airbnb earnings when it comes to giving you a loan, correct?
100%, because if that was my, you know, so I have my primary, and then I also have a second home in California. This would be like my third personal home, which they call it another second home. So my second home, if that's not confusing. But if they were just looking at my income and I didn't have this to the table, they'd be like, oh, well, now your mortgage is, around 20 grand a month. It's like, especially I just bought the house 2 months ago. It would be, maybe it'd be possible, maybe it wouldn't be. But the fact that I can show that I'm covering my mortgages on 2 of my properties, essentially my debt, I've already zeroed out 2 mortgages. This is almost like it's my first time getting a loan. So that's what they're going to look at, is your DTI. So it opens up the doors to other opportunities in the real estate world that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. So like, there's massive opportunity to come in and start leveraging what you're able to do on Airbnb. And it's still early. Like, yes, Airbnb has been around for a while, but like Airbnb experts like yourselves have not turned this into a business for that long. And we even went through and looked at some of the top like property management companies that Airbnb is partnered with, and their listings are like the worst because it's just a volume game. Like, your guys' properties are outperforming all these experts like in every market.
Right. No, I appreciate that, man. And I love the trajectory that you're on. Love the fact that you're on an acquisition spree. You're taking advantage of, interest rates going up, prices going down. You're coming in, you're buying properties, you're taking on bank loans, and you're monetizing everything on Airbnb. So it's paying for itself. So that's fantastic to see. And I can't wait to see what you do next. So thank you for hopping on this video, and hopefully whoever that tuned in gets some value out of this. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sean. Guys, keep crushing it. Obviously, I'll be in the group. Keep asking questions, and thanks for all you do.
Thanks, Chance.
All right, brother. Talk soon.